Electric mobility, this is something that allowed new companies to enter automotive market. So when it comes to QEV technology, company is actually one of the pioneers. Company was trying to do electric cars, 20 years ago. Of course, that was really, really early. So the company, to be able to survive, had to do even some other different things like racing. And of course, you didn't have back then electric racing, so it was gas-powered racing. And then slowly, the company developed 3 pillars of work. One is racing, because we are coming from racing, and we also gather technologies from racing. So currently, we are together with Mahindra running a team for the Formula E. We are currently a small team compared to the other teams that you have controlled by big OEMs, and we are still able to compete and be, in the top 5 teams overall. And then we use all of the technology gathered from racing for R&D projects that we do for other clients. So we are able to do from the first sketch on the paper until the finished prototype, everything in-house. And some of the clients, they want us to do the whole package, but some of the clients want only development of certain part of technology. So for example, they want development of powertrain or platform, full platform for electric vehicle. So those are the things that we can offer to our clients. We are all focused on what is happening in Europe, what is happening in America, all of those developed countries, but most of the pollution is actually happening in emerging countries, and they're all struggling because of the traffic over there and the vehicles they are driving over there. Our CEO, Miguel, he went to Philippines. They have those jeepneys, and jeepneys are minibuses. American Army left a lot of jeeps, old jeeps, over there, and guys in Philippines figure out, okay, let's cut those jeeps in half, let's prolong them, and we have actually minibuses to drive our people around. They actually have those old motors inside that are polluting heavily. So in Philippines, it's not a problem like in Beijing, where you don't see the sky, but the problem is that you cannot breathe while you're walking on the streets. And only in Manila, you have 70,000 of those jeepneys driving around. They are main way of transportation. And in Philippines in total, you have 300,000 of these jeepneys driving around. So there was a program supported by a World Bank for modernization of this jeepney program. But still, they didn't have ways how to modernize those jeepneys. Maybe you can buy more advanced motor for the jeepney, but still, it's not the full solution. You don't have electric jeepney. So here is where Miguel had this idea, our CEO. He told to Minister of Transportation, look, give us one jeepney, give us 60 days, we are going to make you a prototype that it's really going to work and show you that you can have electric jeepneys. We did it. It was a crazy project.
Did you again have to skip chocolate again?
No. For this one, I was not yet at the company. So I didn't skip chocolate for this. But we made it on time. Yeah. And you had all of the ministers of Philippines driving in the jeepney. And it was in CNN, in all over the news, people were talking about those electric jeepneys and that it's possible to have electric jeepneys. And this is how actually business of electric kit started for us. Because what we do, we offer electric kit, which contains motor, battery, inverter, all of the electronics that is needed for getting this system running. And we offer full solution to a jeepney manufacturer. We train them how to install them in already existing jeepneys or new jeepneys that they are producing currently. And once they learn how to do it, they can actually take over, and we just deliver the e-kit. Usually OEMs would have big development centers and then a lot of suppliers, tier 1 suppliers, and they would get all of the parts ready and just do the final assembly of the vehicle. But they would not really produce, all of the things needed for building this car. And sometimes even not developing all of the things in-house, but they would outsource to a certain suppliers in the automotive industry. So you have this strong collaboration between Pininfarina and Ferrari for designing all of their vehicles, but you have some other smaller design studios that are popular in the automotive industry and that work with big OEMs, because OEMs are sometimes restricted with the resources and they need to launch different new models, so they use those suppliers. Still, environment of the automotive industry and tier one suppliers is, I would say, quite hard to enter. The barriers are high, investments that are required are really high, so it was really hard for any newcomer to happen. So in the last 30 years, you had only 2 companies that were being able as a small company to succeed in this environment, and it was Pagani and Koenigsegg creating those niche hypercars. But now with this electric mobility, this is something that allowed new companies to enter automotive market, because everybody was starting from the same ground. Even I think that the big manufacturers were not so quick in reacting and investing in this field. So that's why you had Tesla that was really able to make a difference and make huge changes. And I think that Tesla really did a great job. You may love the car or don't love the car, it doesn't matter, but they paved the road for all other electric car companies coming on the market. And this is where Rimac had actually the opportunity to create something different and to really create the world's fastest electric supercar at that moment.
You've got a whole new set of suppliers now able to enter, from sensor makers to platform developers to just traditional software companies that are coming in. Do you see the direction that we're moving as an industry then, like with the mobility as a service? Do you see them still being around, or do you see them now kind of going away and smaller companies emerging, or where will the power lie in the value chain?
Honestly, I think that those big manufacturers that doesn't change their strategy are going to die. Those ones that accept that the change is coming and then they shift their companies to be mobility service providers, or they shift them, those ones are going to survive. They're definitely going to have a different business model. They're not going to earn money from sales of the vehicle, but they're going to earn money from services they provide to customers. So for those who switch, I think they're going to stay on the market. For those who don't, I don't see a really bright future.
Okay, well, I don't want to end the podcast on that positive note that we just arrived at.